Welcome back to the Mythic Giraffe podcast. I'm Chris.
And I'm a very tired Ron. I'm
Yeah,
not as tired anymore. I got 9 good hours of sleep.
Good for you. I did not.
No.
Yeah. No, I just haven't been sleeping well.
I had a dream you yelled at me.
Again?
I literally had a dream last night, and the reason you yelled at me is bonkers. Apparently, because I just had to do a Cologuard test for the first time in my entire life.
Mm,
By the way, I don't have butt cancer, or
Good.
at least I don't have the markers for butt cancer.
Okay.
So, where you have to shit in a bucket,
Yeah.
send that bucket into, the poor FedEx guy that has to take that thing in. More better on him. But
So, wait, you put it in a bucket?
What'd you do? Take it in your hand?
I just put it in an envelope and put it in the mail.
But in my dream, for some reason, I used the urinal out of the ambulance, and I had to. No, it wasn't. I didn't take a dump. I just had to piss.
Okay.
I was on a scene. And I used the urinal out of an ambulance, and you got really mad at me.
Really?
Like you were like, this is stealing of city property. I'm going to find the person who did this, and I'm gonna, we're gonna throw the book at him. And how dare this animal use the urinal? In my dream, like that was my. I woke up going, what did I do to Chris? Why is he mad at me?
I wonder if it's because you saw me yesterday have to use the constricting band off the ambulance as a modified belt.
Well, that's true. I should write you up for that.
You should.
You
Yes.
steal city property.
Well, it's technically hospital property.
Yeah.
And I did tell the paramedic crew, I said, hey, I've got one of your constricting bands.
Oh, rant one of the day.
Oh.
And it even has to play with EMS. My brain will always forever be broken, right? I can't unfix the brain. So I'm going on a trip, and we're going to be hiking during said trip. So I don't like to go hiking.
Hiking or urban hiking?
No, like hiking. Like we have to take a class about bear protection, and we have to take bear spray hiking.
Crap.
Yeah,
wow.
So we're going hiking.
Okay.
And I don't like to go into the wilderness or hiking without a basic. I call it a survival. I don't like to call it a first aid kit anymore. I call it a survival kit.
Yeah.
Because I think.
Well, it's because you're a Boy Scout at heart.
Yes, there's part of that, but also over the years of being a paramedic, going a lot of this shit is bullshit. Like I don't take Band-Aids. I don't take, comfort stuff. I take things these are things that will save your life. Like I take a tourniquet. I take, compression bandages. I take, 5x9s and 4x4s, and I take. The only thing I take is blister. I take moleskin tape for blisters. Yeah. But I built up my little hiking first aid kit, and it's got to be light enough that you're going to carry it.
Right.
But I have to fly it to said trip, right? Because I'm flying, and I have to take it with me. And I'm not checking a bag. I'm just carrying on.
Yeah.
So I go on the TSA website. Obviously, normally this kit would involve a knife, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't go anywhere without a knife. But I'm going flying, so I can't have the knife. Get it? It's fine. I'll leave the knife at home. I'm not happy about it, but I'm doing that.
Yeah. Does it allow you to bring a pot lid?
Don't tempt me. But so I can't bring a knife. Check. So then I say, okay, well, I'm going to bring trauma shears. Trauma shears are pretty versatile. You're pretty useful in a lot of survival situations. So I go on TSA's website, and I first I Google, can you bring trauma shears on an airplane? I just get some answers. So I go to TSA's website, and there's nothing specifically saying you can't take them. So then I text my friend who happens to be a TSA agent who is married to a supervising to a TSA agent.
Okay.
And I said, hey, can I take these on an airplane? Well, they have to be rounded tips. Well, technically, trauma shears are rounded tips. They're not pointed tips.
Right.
So then I said, okay, well, that that's fine. And he says, then they have to have less than 3 inches from the fulcrum. I said, okay, well, trauma shears are only 2.5 inches from the fulcrum.
Yeah.
And then his answer at the end of that is, well, it's really up to the TSA agent. Good luck. And I was
What?
so fucking mad.
Oh
Because
my
that's
gosh.
not how it should work.
No.
This is the rule. This is what you can bring. You can't bring this. If you tell me I can't bring this and I bring that thing, I'm an idiot. But if you tell
Right.
me, well, these are the rules and you follow the rules, but then just because
Yeah.
Billy Bob has a bad day, you can't bring that thing,
Mm-hmm.
that's not how it's supposed to work. It's
No.
ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, that is
Ridiculous.
literally one of the times it should be black or white. There should be no gray.
And my argument again is going to be, if there's a medical emergency on the plane, you're going to expect me to act, correct?
Yeah.
And you're going to take away the tools that I use to act,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
You know, but I was so pissed off by his answer. I haven't
Yeah,
talked to him
that's
since. I was just pissed off. I was like, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
If it's this, then that's how it goes. That means
Right.
every
Yeah.
TSA agent follows that rule. Not it's his gut feeling. So I freaking usually there go. I take my survival kits and I put them in a vacuum seal bag and I vacuum seal them up.
Yeah.
So keeps them waterproof and
Right.
all in
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
space. Takes a little. Well, so I was like, well, if these fucking dicks are going to be assholes, I just taped the trauma shears to the outside, and I guess if I go to the TSA and they take my shears, they're going to throw them away.
Mm.
But I'm going to be pissed off when they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very annoying.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah. And I like that their immediate thing is, yeah, we're just going to throw it away. No. Let me here. I got put it in a locker, and I'll get it when I come back.
Right, I'm coming back to this airport. Well, I should be like, take it over to my friend who. Oh, that's her over there. She's the supervisor at your goddamn facility. Take it to her.
Yeah. Yeah, that's quite frustrating.
It's very frustrating. I think we have gotten to the point in America, and I'm only going to speak for America.
Yeah.
And maybe this isn't, we haven't reached the actual point yet, we're getting close. They've just made air travel as inconvenient and annoying as possible. Every part of it.
I remember for a time, like even nail clippers, they were like, nope.
Right. Yeah. No nail clippers. When I flew out to Vegas in 04, it was like 05. I had a pair of pliers. They had no blade. There was no blade on them at all.
Yeah.
It was a pair of pliers in my bag. And I had just forgotten that they were in there.
Yeah.
And they took those. Do you think I'm going to take the plane apart?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
It's a thing that, they don't know if you're MacGyver.
Right. Right, but what the fuck do you think I'm with a pair of pliers?
Yeah. Extract someone's tooth.
Right. And really, the answer to the knife problem should be everybody gets a knife.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's bonkers. But it's like the rules for the air. Like my wife and I have been reading the airlines rules every couple months because they're like, are they changing the rules for carry-on bags? Are they going to make us pick this bag? We're measuring our freaking bags to be the exact size that they say it's allowed to be.
Yeah. Well, speaking of carry-on, where I'm not a traveler as much, the last time I flew, everybody's like, yeah, we're just bringing carry-on. So I thought that meant you just brought a carry-on suitcase. So I packed everything into that. And they're like, where's your backpack? I was like, well, you said we're just doing carry-on. They're like, yeah, you get a backpack and a carry-on. I was like,
we bought, because we're bougie, and we splurged a little bit on this trip. It's fine. And we'll use some of this, but we bought carry-ons that convert into backpacks.
Ooh.
So they're made by Osprey. They kind of look like hiking packs. They're not. Okay. They're definitely not hiking backpacks.
Yeah.
They are carry-ons that you convert into backpacks because we're going to be like walking around and it's just going to be easier to have backpacks.
Yeah.
But Yes, you do get a backpack that you can take on
Yeah.
top of that.
Yeah.
My wife and I have very different views on packing light. That's what I've learned.
Yeah.
I came home yesterday, and because on the way home, she's like, "Oh, I'm done. I'm packed." I said, "Oh, that's cool." Well, first off, she said she pre-packed, which to me meant she's pre-packing to figure out how much she's actually going to pack.
Yeah.
But she says she's done, and
Okay.
I walk into the house, and her carry-on bag looks perfectly acceptable. It's packed the best way we can pack it. It looks good.
Yeah.
Looks like it's right size. And I look at her backpack, and this poor backpack is screaming out, "Kill me!" And I'm like, "What is going on with your backpack?" And she said to me as I'm driving home, "Oh, I've got room in my backpack to buy like 2 to 3 books while we're on the trip." I'm like, "What size books are you going to put in this thing? It's bulging. The zippers are breaking open." I said, "What are you doing?" She's like, "Well, those are the essentials I need to have with me." I'm like, "Your wallet, your keys, your passport, your book for the airplane.
Yeah.
What else do you freaking need in your backpack? What are you talking about?"
Hmm.
This-
Yeah.
She's like, "Well, I couldn't fit this in the suitcase. So I had to put this in this." And I'm like, "Okay,
Hmm.
we have different views on the world."
Yeah. Yeah.
I had to buy.
Although I will say one thing, when I pack for any kind of trip, I usually pack like double the amount of underwear I really need.
Sure.
It's like I think for some reason when I, go on a trip, I'm gonna crap myself every day. I don't know why I do that.
I always do give myself one security piece of underwear, right? So like, if I
Yeah.
need 6 pairs of underwear, I take 7. I don't know
Yeah.
why. It's the same thing. Like, I don't know. I have
Hmm.
no. It's never happened,
Yeah.
but I
I probably
always do
think
that.
back to you saying, "Oh, everybody, if you average it out, everybody craps himself once a year."
It's sure,
Yeah.
but you know, I'm. We're packing is a 9-day trip, but we can do laundry in the middle. So I told her, I was like, pack
Oh,
for 5 days,
yeah.
and then we'll do laundry in the middle, and we'll be fine.
Yeah, that gives
And
you a day and a half buffer.
yeah, and we don't need to we don't have to have 38 outfits.
Hmm.
We're on
No.
vacation. It's fine.
Yeah.
She's like, well, what are we going? If we go to a fancy restaurant, we just won't. More than
Yeah.
likely. She's like, well,
Right.
what if I get invited to the crown prince of Russia's ball? It's not happening.
Well, then you have your credit card. You can buy something
That's what I
to
said.
wear.
She was like, well, what if I forget something? We're not going to like Antarctica. There's stores everywhere we're going. If there's an
Hmm.
emergency that we need something, we can figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll be fine.
Yeah.
And my mother is going on this trip
Hmm.
and talk about different packing strategies. She has two for herself, two full size suitcases, a carry on, and a backpack that she's bringing.
Good God.
I said, "What are you doing?" She's like, "Well, we're going to Alaska, and I need thermal underwear and thermal this." I said, "It's late spring. The average temperature of where we're going is 55 degrees." She's like, "Well, that's too cold. I might freeze to death." I'm like,
That's not freezing.
and I understand that I am the exception. I wear shorts all the time, but 55 degrees, put a hoodie on and shorts, and you're fine. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not swimming in the Bering Strait here. We're going to be just north of
Yeah.
Canada.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't negative 55.
Right, right. We're not Kurt Russell, and we're going to use a flamethrower against the thing here.
Yeah.
We're fine.
Golly
It's
day.
it's
Hmm.
crazy. The things people think they need, it's
Yeah.
bonkers.
Yeah. Well, like the people are like, well, what do you think the weather will be like there? Well, I don't know. Let's look it up. It's not
Right.
like, 40 years ago where you're like, oh gosh, maybe it'll be warm. Now you have a pretty good idea nowadays.
You have a pretty good idea of, they're always wrong, but
Yeah.
you have a pretty good idea of what the averages look like, at
Yeah.
least. It's just
Hmm.
bonkers. Like, well, what if
Hmm.
this happens? What if this happens? What if Well, then I'll kill a caribou and I'll skin it. I don't. What? I don't know. It's what for me?
Yeah, but you won't have a weapon. How are you going to kill it with your bare hands?
Well, with my trauma shears that I can convert into a machete.
Yeah. Aha.
Yeah, I fooled you this whole time. This was actually a machete.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's good times.
Yeah. Well, I started playing Expedition 33.
I saw that, and
you saw that? Oh, on Discord.
Yeah, Discord.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was like, wait, how did you see that?
I'm
Yeah,
checking you. I have robots in your house right now.
That's fine. Yeah, I made it through the prologue. It is definitely a Chris ass game.
Oh my god, it's the most Chris ass game that's ever existed.
I suck at parrying. God.
And there's no clues to when to parry.
Yeah, and I felt bad. I should have taken a video of it. Like, I'm hitting the parry button way too fast, I guess, or whatever. And my little guy, he's like, parry. Oh, let's jump right into the swing.
Oh, so. Yeah. That happens a lot.
Yeah. Like in the prologue where you can like practice against what's her name? Melee or whatever. Melee.
Yeah, the little girl.
Yeah. I think I fought against her 8 times before I finally.
Wow.
Yeah. I was like, well, maybe dodging is easier. It's a little bit easier, but no, because then my little guy's just booga booga booga.
Yeah, you just do a little jump.
Yeah, I'm like,
and then still get whacked.
Yep.
Yeah.
But when they do their little like, tutorial for it, it's like the enemy had like this flash before. I was like, oh, so I'm gonna look for this little flash or this little, like little yellow change in their strike. Nope.
Yeah. Have you gotten to the one where you have to jump yet?
No.
Okay, well then disregard.
Yeah. I just got the chick.
Luna. Yeah, Luna.
Yep, I literally just got her. So
I'm assuming I'm going to have to get rid of somebody at one point when I go back to finishing this game,
and
I'm dropping Gustav first.
Yeah, although it's Charlie Cox.
I've heard that. I don't care.
Oh, okay.
He sucks. Not Charlie Cox, but Gustav. He's terrible. Yeah. He does the least damage. I don't know what he's supposed to do for.
I did notice that. I was like, man, he's not doing much. Well, until you get his like whatever it is overcharge thing going, and then but that's a one and done.
Well, I can tell you this: if they're immune to overcharge, he really sucked against that enemy.
Yeah. The Luna chick, seems to be pretty good because she's got the different elements.
Yep.
Crazy. Yep. Although she's a crazy hippie, she's running around barefoot.
The little girl's pretty good too.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, let's get to her. But
maybe I should take it into work with me tomorrow, so the Frenchman could help me.
Yeah, don't they leave today?
Oh, do they?
I think they leave tonight.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah. Yes, the Frenchman was so impressed that I spoke some French to him. And then he was happy to see me yesterday.
Oh, I bet.
But then it's very insulting because he goes right to the other Frenchman and they start having a conversation next to me to explain things in French. I'm like, I got 2 of those words.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I've been, see him in the morning. I'm like, bonjour. And they'll, spout off something. And I just laugh. I'm like, you're hilarious. Yeah.
I had a whole talk yesterday with the driver on A shift, and I was doing my French over. He's like, "Why do you do that?" I'm like, "Because it feels like you should know a language."
Yeah,
it feels.
Yeah,
I never feel more terrible as a person as when I don't know another language at all.
Right.
I feel like I should know something. I can't. If somebody walks up to me and they say, "I speak Portuguese," and I don't speak Portuguese, but I am fluent in at least 2 languages, I'd be happy.
Yeah.
And I just.
Yeah. Well, it's like my wife and I started watching The Pit, and it might be the first episode. Where's there's the Nepali, and
Yes.
them like trying to figure out what language she speaks and everything. I'm like, oh gosh, yeah, that is like a horrible thing in EMS and emergency medicine. Yeah,
We
yeah, we're
we had a couple during the storm who were standing outside the apartment building that we got called to for an AFA. We get there, there's no alarms, the system's reset. So we have no, I mean, I was like, we don't know what the hell's going on, but they're just standing outside in the storm. I'm like, are they from this apartment? So I walk up to them and I'm like, are you from this apartment? And they don't, they just look at me. And I say, tu parles anglais? They're like, no. I said, tu parles français? No. Espanol? No. And I'm like, well, now we're screwed. Now we're in trouble.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
They definitely didn't look like they sprechen Sie Deutsch, but I guess that's me. You know,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
it's fun. I still think back of that lady who spoke some form of Mongolian, and the point where the people in the language link were like, we don't know what this is, but it's some kind of Mongolian, and we can't help you.
Yeah.
And the language people say, we can't help you. It's real bad.
Yeah. Do you think in the other countries they're like, yeah, they're speaking English, but this is like deep south. We can't help you.
Yeah. They take a Craig Evans.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
Like, I
oh my
don't know what the
gosh.
hell this guy's talking about.
Yeah. 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 And that's one thing I don't know with like Google Translate or whatever. Is there a way you can just like open it up and the person start talking and it try to figure out what they're speaking?
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a interesting question that I don't have the answer to.
Yeah. Because my luck, I'd be like, oh, like they did in The Pit. Oh, where are you from? Show me on the map. And they like show Salisbury. I'm like, it doesn't help.
It does not.
Yeah, we're like 3 episodes in, and I'm like, wow, this is a very much more realistic show.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say the first 5 episodes are some of the most realistic emergency medicine stuff you're ever going to be able to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, because obviously there's some things you just can't.
Yeah.
You can't ever show on television, I'm sure.
Yeah. Got that little fork fracture. I was like, oh, I've seen one of those in real life. It's not good.
Yeah, not good. No bueno.
Yeah.
Yeah. They do a really good job with the medical side of it, is what I would say.
Yeah.
Some of the, like, again, like the EMTs, if you see the paramedics or EMTs and they're dressed like they are, like, that doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, no.
And usually the cops or the paramedics are hitting on the nurses. Come on. You're missing out on
the part. Yeah. Well, like I saw the medic crew, their ambulance got stolen.
Yeah.
It's like one of the 2 people on that crew, one would be like, that means no more runs for us right now.
Yeah, right.
And the other one is going to be the one having a fit going, oh my God, I'm going to get fired. We got to call this in, this and that. Yeah. But
yeah, one of them would be the EMS room eating donuts going, I'm good.
Yeah. They did what? Yeah. The only reason they get upset was, wait, did I get my charger out of that?
Oh man, I had a half drunk drink from Royal Farms in there. God damn it. My Alani New, or whatever the hell those people drink now.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
Damn kids and the damn energy drinks.
Yeah. Well, you ready for topic 1?
Yeah, and starts with a rant.
Yes.
Sorta. It's a small rant.
Okay.
So I live in a part of my state. I'm not going to say the whole state's like this, but a part of my state where they have made a conscious effort, and the governor has talked about, they made a conscious effort to make it more pedestrian friendly. By the way, did you know that America is by far the worst country for pedestrian fatalities?
Oh yeah,
it's insane. And the numbers just keep going up, not down. Okay. Anyways, so
it's because nobody uses a crosswalk.
Well, so they have some of the people I was talking, this is a side tangent, but there were people talking
Yeah.
about how cars are getting heavier in America and they're getting bigger
Mm-hmm.
with bigger blind spots, and they're, not teaching people to drive correctly, and all
Well,
of
yeah.
those things, are
Yeah.
really adding to this danger to pedestrians. But anyways, so the governors, 2 or 3 governors of Delaware at this point have said, we want to make it so that the area is more walkable, because we spent 50, 70 years, making everything you have to go by car because there's no way to walk places. So they want to make
Right.
things more pedestrian accessible.
Yeah.
So the road I live off of, the major artery that
Mm-hmm.
I live off of,
Is that
has
the one that goes by Anal Tech?
it is 100%, which sadly no longer called Able Tech, but 100% right down that road. And that road has a elevated pedestrian and bicycle walkway,
Ooh.
right? So it's separated from the roadway. It's probably a good 6 feet off the road. It's
Okay.
got a nice, paved surface, and it's elevated and away from the roadway,
Wow.
right? And it goes,
Yeah.
luckily, it goes from town to randomly stops in the middle of like a field. But if you're going that way, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, where do you think I saw an asshole? And by the way, that road is a 50-mile-an-hour zone, right? So you
Yeah.
should
Okay.
not be. You should be using the elevated walkway. This
Yeah.
morning, where do you think I saw a guy walking against traffic this morning? Where do you think he was?
Oh, in the lane.
In the fucking roadway.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
you could turn your head and see the elevated protected walkway for pedestrians,
Mm-hmm.
and you're in the goddamn road. What? What decision making does that start? Like, I think of the road that Station 1 in Salisbury is on, right?
Yeah.
Shoemaker has no sidewalks, and people
Right.
are forced to either walk in the grass, and then
Yeah.
there are points when they can't walk in the grass anymore and they have
Mm-hmm.
to walk on the road, which I think is
Yeah.
super dangerous and should not be like that. I think that's
Right.
unacceptable that the city and county have allowed that to continue. Because,
Yeah.
by the way, there's a YMCA, a daycare. It's a
Mm.
walkway to 2 high schools.
Yeah.
It should have a freaking sidewalk.
Right.
But what do you do when people are
Mm-hmm.
then not using the goddamn sidewalk? What
Yeah.
what part of your brain goes, I'm in a 50-mile-an-hour zone. These cars are going really fast. I'm just going to walk next to them.
Yeah. Well, I will say at least they were walking against traffic.
They were walking against traffic. I'll
So,
give him
but
that.
yeah, but yeah, not to use. Well, I see it most of the time when I go to work. When I turn onto Lake Street, there is a sidewalk,
Oh,
there
yeah.
is a bike lane, and
Hmm.
then there is the roadway, and people walk in the roadway. It's like I don't want you to, but at least walk in a damn bike lane. But
Right. At
no.
least walk in the bike lane. It's
Ugh.
something. Oh, well, this has nothing to do with the pedestrian side, but yesterday I'm coming home from work. And look, I was maybe a little extra irritable on my drive home for
Well, yeah,
reasons, right?
I mean, yeah,
Like,
you had worked 36 hours straight and
but the
going
bullshit
on
meter,
185 calls.
the bullshit meter for people was very low last night driving home. And this, the state redid one of our roads, and they fixed up the bridge, and that bridge has a bike lane, right?
Okay.
It's clearly marked bike lane. It clearly
Mm-hmm.
has. Now, it's not hard protected, but it's got soft barriers so that it's separated from the roadway. Where do you
Yeah.
think I saw a car driving
Oh, in the bike
yesterday?
lane.
In the bike lane. And
Yeah.
so then, of course, I can see them as I'm approaching the bridge, and the bridge is
Mm-hmm.
one lane in both directions. And I could see them, and they're in front of me, and they're in the bike lane. I'm like, this fucking moron. And then they get in front of me, and the bridge is 45 miles an hour. So they get out of the bike lane and get into my lane, and then they do
Mm-hmm.
20 miles an hour over the bridge. I
Harpoon
wanted,
gun.
I wanted to pit maneuver them off the bridge. It was
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was so done.
I believe a jury of your peers would back you on that.
I think they have to. Right? There's no way that anybody would find me guilty because, oh my God, it was so bad. But yes, the pedestrian thing, you have to use the sidewalks. You have
Mm-hmm.
to use,
Yeah.
like, just perfect example. I caught myself like 5 times during the Station 1 parking lot debacle this last month
Mm. Oh gosh, yeah.
because we had to cross to the road to get
Right.
to our cars. And I was like, oh, I'll just cross it. And then I was like, that's the number one thing I bitch about. There's a crosswalk 6 feet from
Mm.
me.
Yep.
I'll just go to the crosswalk. And I would stop and I would turn to the crosswalk and I would cross there. Didn't
Mm-hmm.
help when people would still run the lights at me, but at least I would die in the crosswalk. you know, it's I don't know how
Yeah.
you fix that.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, the number of jaywalkers, and it's like when they put up those the fencing all up and down Coastal Highway in Ocean City, and then they started to do it on 50 in Salisbury, and people are like, "What about the pedestrians?" It's like, what if they use the crosswalk? They've
Right,
got a clear way. That's
right.
we are herding them to where they're supposed to be.
There's a place
God.
they're supposed to cross. That's where we want them to
Mm.
cross.
Yeah. Maybe if we chipped people and they tried to use something other than the crosswalk and they got a mild electric shock.
Yeah, then all the firefighters who have to like take care of patients in the middle of roadways. God damn it.
Yeah. Well, they're, yeah.
Well, we're having a heated debate in my town, um, because Newark is a college town, right? We That's all the reason at this point the only reason the town exists is because of the university.
Oh yeah.
And recently we had a tragedy where 2 people stole a box truck and they fled from the police and they killed a graduate student and injured like 9 people on Main Street. And this
Oh
Main Street is
gosh.
and the pedestrians were in the right in this situation. They were crossing a
Yeah.
crosswalk and this guy flipped the
Mm.
screen for the police and hit the pedestrians. But the street is, you know, it's just restaurants and stores and it's Main Street and it's bars and it's not a
Yeah.
place. It's a place where people are going to cross constantly. And there are lots and lots of crosswalks on the street, and
Yeah.
it's a very hard rule of you have to stop for pedestrians, and the people
Right.
still don't follow the rules.
Yeah.
And
Well, I mean, that's like New Hampshire. Pedestrians will walk in front of you.
oh yeah.
They don't care.
They don't care. Yeah, but this is the second tragedy they've had like this because last year another person was fleeing from the police, ran down Main Street, killed a pedestrian.
Mm.
So the conversation has been had to close the road to cars, and
Okay.
I'm all about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, hell yeah, close the road to cars because the way the town works is there's 2 parallel roads to Main Street that you could divert traffic to, that they can use that. And yeah, it's probably going to fuck up traffic a little bit, but they won't be on Main Street. And you'll keep
Yeah.
pedestrians safe, the businesses will be happy,
Yeah.
all of those things. The fire department, the Newark Fire Department, oh, we can't do anything. There's nothing can be done because we have to be able to respond to these calls. And I'm
What?
like, exactly. Well, don't you think, Newark Fire Department, that you would respond to less calls of pedestrians getting run over if there were no cars for them to get run over? And yes, there would still be a way for the fire department to get through
Mm.
to the business addresses. No one's gonna be like, we're gonna put concrete walls up with barbed wire and minefields to stop the fire department. Right? The fire department should be the ones going, yes, let us work with the partners and say,
Yes.
come up with a
Yeah.
safety plan.
We endorse this.
Right. We should be endorsing pedestrian safety and how,
Yeah.
risk mitigation and prevention in our town. That's our freaking duty. That's our responsibility.
So the fire department should be focused on community risk reduction.
At a certain level, yes.
Yeah.
I know you're trying to bait me. I'm not biting that hook.
But yeah, no, I agree. It's I don't know. Well, I think you and I have discussed this before. I mean, we are just a car-driven society, and it's awful.
It is awful. It is awful, and it's. I don't want to I don't get in the politics side of it,
Yeah.
but it has become this like the identity to be an American. Like I have this conversation at work all the time because people make fun of my car at work.
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe you drive that. When I got my new car,
Yeah.
one of the people on my shift said, I can't believe you got a smaller car. And my answer is, why wouldn't I get a smaller car? If if they made a single seat car that was as fuel efficient as possible, that only had a trunk, like it had enough room in the back for me to put my stuff, I would buy
Yeah.
that. Like,
Yeah.
you know, what are you talking about? A car is a conveyance. It should be the most efficient conveyance from point A to point B, and that's
Right.
it. You
Yeah.
know, instead, it's part of my identity to drive a big pickup truck and spend
Yeah.
$38,000 in gas a year. I
Yeah.
don't get it.
Yeah. 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 Well,
And
it's like, I mean, I've told you before, the people at work that, are like, you're going to walk to like Burnett White. I was like, "Well, it's a mile. So
right,
yes.
yeah. Now,
Yeah.
I will say, because Salisbury is one of the towns that I'm talking about, it is not a walking friendly town.
No.
There is no great way to walk around that town, and it is and like it's it's my problem with the bike lanes in Salisbury is they were never laid out correctly. Like, no, the bike lanes should be a conveyance. Like, this gets you
Yeah.
from this area to this area safely. Instead,
Right.
it's this gets you from this block to this block, and then you have to go on these other roads, and then you get you from this block to this block. Like, it was never
Yeah.
right. They never thought about a conveyance across. Like,
Mm.
there's no reason that the Riverwalk in Salisbury isn't a miles long pedestrian walkway through the
Yeah.
town.
Right. Yeah.
It should
Well, I
be.
mean, remember there was that talk of the bike path that was supposed to go from like Fruitland to north of Delmar,
Yeah, yeah.
and that died.
Well, yeah, because look at how mad people got about the bike lane in Carroll Street.
Oh yeah.
And my argument against it was that it wasn't a well thought out bike lane, not that we shouldn't
Right.
have a bike lane.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, so it doesn't go anywhere,
Well, now
right?
you have a city leader that's, I'm gonna tear that down. It's
Right.
like is that. Oh, I mean, I don't see how that helps anyone, but okay.
Yeah, I, I'm lucky and spoiled that Newark, because of the college and all of the foot traffic and the bike
Mm-hmm.
traffic, they've made
Yeah.
strides towards making the tent. But that should be the goal. Like,
Yeah.
you shouldn't be like, I'm going to drive to the restaurant that's 5 minutes from my house. Right? I
Right.
can just walk. Like,
Yeah.
my mother, we were talking about leaving for the trip on Tuesday or Wednesday, and the hotel she got is like, I don't know, 2 blocks from the port. And she's like, yeah, I'm gonna rent a car, or I'm gonna get an Uber, and we're gonna go to the
What?
port in the morning. I'm like, it's 2 blocks.
Yeah.
If you didn't bring 38 fucking pieces of luggage, you could just walk there. What are you
Yeah.
talking about? Just
Right.
walk. She's
Yeah.
like, you can see
Yeah.
the port from the hotel, but
Mm.
it's a far couple blocks. I'm like, it's a couple blocks. I'm just gonna walk.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
bonkers.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing I noticed, to give your state props, I had to go to Lewis,
Lewis.
Delaware, and yeah, but there were new what you call it, developments being put in,
Mm-hmm.
but they hadn't even started building houses yet. But they already had the walking paths
Mm-hmm.
paved and set out and laid. I'm like, wow,
And
that's like step one. That's smart.
they're connecting them all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've got that bike lane that's going from Lewis to Georgetown, and it's what 3/4 of the way done right now, and they're
Yeah.
finished. They're starting the finishing part right now. It's
Yeah.
amazing. Like, my wife
Yeah.
and I stayed there last year, just a place that was right off the bike path. We just biked into town all week. We never drove anywhere.
Nice.
You could bike into town. We there's all kinds of little bike stations where you just lock your bike up,
Hmm.
and then we walked around town, and then we got our bikes, went to the next place.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah, you
That
would
should
think.
be the goal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Well, it's
people
like,
bitch about traffic.
yeah. I mean, it's like my uh, oldest goes to University of Maryland, and you talk about University of Delaware. You would think Salisbury, like around Salisbury University, would be where the pedestrian stuff would start and merge out from there.
I've
And other
always
other than the underpass under 13, there's not anything really pedestrian friendly in that area.
I've always thought that about Salisbury University, that it's so coming from Newark, where like businesses work very hard to attract the college kids, and businesses
Right.
lobby the city leaders to make it pedestrian friendly for these college, because
Yeah.
the thing they don't want is college kids driving everywhere, right? They don't want
Right.
them having cars on campus and all that stuff. So business and like the university put shuttle buses in so they can actually go to the bars, and to the restaurants and to the store. There's
Yeah.
a shuttle bus from the university to the grocery store. You know,
Hmm.
that's a win for the grocery store, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
they think it's seemingly think it's good, and then you go to Salisbury, and it's like I'm at the university, and I there's nothing here.
Yeah.
There's just now slowly starting to be some restaurants, but they're all on 13,
Yeah.
and they're not super accessible from the school, right?
Mm-mm.
Like there's one
Mm.
walkway, and it's all the way down one end of the campus,
Yep.
right? You can't go
Oh
from the
yeah,
other side.
because the intersection of College and 13 has like one and a half crosswalks, or
Right,
yeah, marked crosswalks. It's like, but no, how do we do? So we go over here and then we frogger to here. I
right,
don't.
yeah. It yeah, it's something that bugs me a lot about our country, you
Yeah.
know. And I don't know that it's not gonna get better in my lifetime, but boy, it
Yeah.
is something that,
Yeah.
you know, like the governor of Delaware, the last governor of Delaware said, I want you to be able to go from Glasgow and Newark are like two towns that they're not connected.
Mm.
They're, probably 10 miles away from each other.
Is that
And
where
his
they
goal,
invented the coma score?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And he said, I want you to, yeah, they invented it at the Glasgow Medical Aid Unit that is the place that drives us. So it says not Newark EMS. But anyways, he wanted to have a
Mm.
pedestrian walkway that goes from Glasgow to Newark, and it never has to touch a road. And people were like, "Yeah, we're all about it." But in Salisbury, they'd be like, "Why the fuck would you ever do that? That's almost 8 miles. Like it's insane."
Yeah. Yeah.
Connect your towns, and it will keep your people safe, and they'll use the
Right.
walkways.
Yeah. 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 What's like? I mean, people complain all the time about parking downtown and
Right.
stuff like that. It kills me because so I, especially now, go to quite a few meetings downtown,
Mm-hmm.
and I would walk, but unfortunately, sometimes I have to be ready to respond to a call, so I do want my work vehicle somewhat near. But my usual route is I go and I drive up the plaza, and if there's a parking spot anywhere there, I park. Then I go by the GOB if there's anything there, and then I go down Main Street. And it's like, yeah, if I can, yeah, if I'm within 3 blocks, I'm happy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then people are like, yeah, I circled around the GOB 5 times and then finally found one. Like, there's 8 of them on the plaza.
Well, parking downtown Salisbury is
Hmm.
it's an issue.
Well, if I hadn't been in uniform the other day, I would have flattened somebody's tires. Because there's those spots in front of the government office building that are back in only,
Mm-hmm.
and there were 2 cars nosed in,
Mm-hmm.
and one of them was nosed in and like double parked. I was like, oh my god, just let's flatten every single one of your damn tires.
Don't you want to just retire from the fire department and just enforce parking? Doesn't that sound
Yes,
amazing? Like,
yes,
and I want to enforce it with Judge Dredd style
oh
enforcement. I don't
yeah,
want. I don't want to like give tickets. I want to be like, you have been found guilty. The sentence is
yeah,
death, or where he blows up the car.
mm-hmm, yeah,
It's your 10th ticket. I'm blowing up your car.
yeah, yeah.
There's a
Yeah,
lady at my gym.
first time, I'll give you a warning. But if I come to your vehicle and I see in the register that this is not your first time, you're either getting towed or destroyed.
Yeah, There's a lady at my gym who she has a handicap sticker. She parks in the handicap spot, but she parks in it incorrectly. So what she does is she
Mm.
parks. You know how they have the van accessible little area.
Yes.
She parks in the
Yes.
van accessible area,
No.
which
No.
means that the person on the other side of them doesn't have the van accessible area for their
Mm-mm.
handicap spot. Also,
Yeah.
you're going to the gym. Why are you? You don't need it. Whatever. But she does it every time, and it
Mm.
drives me getting batty.
Yeah.
And she's from
But that's
fucking
the thing. I mean,
Pennsylvania.
yeah. See, and in something like that, it should be one of those. "Oh, I see you parked in the van accessible. Oh, yeah, yeah. You thought you were handicapped. Now just wait. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's. Yeah. I
Uh,
would gladly drive around, in my little cart or whatever, or walk. I just walk it,
yeah.
depending on the area.
I just
Yeah.
walk it. I go right up to fire lanes, and I would blow up your car.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, we warned you. This is a car on fire lane.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. You get one
Mm.
warning.
Yeah.
Fucking
Yeah.
liquor store in front of my house. There's a neighborhood or a shopping center in front of my house, and there's a liquor store in there, and they're on the
Mm-hmm.
terrible curve, and they get deliveries in the fire lane. Behind the building is a delivery alleyway, which their facility has a door to. Get your deliveries in the rear, goddammit.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah.
Blow up a lot of people's cars.
Oh yeah. 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 Or even maybe not start with. Maybe the second offense would be like I bust out your driver's side window
It's fair.
and then go to the windshield.
No, I just think we set your car on fire from the fire lane.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you're sitting in it, you better get the fuck out because your car's in
Oh
fire.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's my favorite. Well, I'm sitting in your car, so it's okay. Nope, it's still a fire lane. It's not. It's not for you.
Yep.
Especially when you're 6 feet away from a spot. For God's sakes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I
Now,
got to
like,
go in and get my Little Caesars.
sometimes I see like an older gentleman picking up his wife in the fire lane. I understand that, right? You pick
Yes.
up your wife. She's
Yeah.
got some mobility issues. Maybe we should come up with some sort of system for that. But then if we do that, people are just going to abuse it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. 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 But yeah, pedestrians. And that's the thing. If we see pedestrians not utilizing the correct pedestrian routes, I believe we should be able to paintball them.
Yes. Or at least taser them so that they flop
Oh,
around on
yeah.
the road a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because my wife will stop me because I'm like, I want to yell at this person. She said, don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Like the other day, oh my God, she had to rein me in. We're walking through our neighborhood, and there's a small child on a bicycle without a helmet.
Oh.
15 feet behind the child is the parent carrying the helmet. The rage that filled me.
Justifiable rage. Justifiable rage.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm on your side. That parent should be paintballed to death.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Death by paintball.
Yeah. Yeah.
Takes a while. It's painful.
Yeah. Nah, if you freeze them, it doesn't.
That's fair. That shit hurts.
Yeah.
Frozen paintball. It hurts. Well, ready to move on to topic 2?
Sure. Topic 2. So recently I watched, I got to get it right, the animated Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man on Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which you highly recommended. I haven't watched it.
Yeah. But it just reignited in me. I mean, Spider-Man is probably the best Marvel hero. He's just genuine. He cares about everybody.
Oh, you mean best as in he's the best person?
Yeah, his person, his creed.
And I think if you run that out further, I would say he's probably of DC and Marvel the best person overall.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah,
and his
I
lesson
mean,
is, I mean, if you listen to Stan Lee's interviews, he loves Spider-Man more than any other,
yeah,
hero. Um, no, yeah, Spider-Man is the best, right? His creed
yeah,
is the best.
yeah,
Great power comes great responsibility.
yeah,
Your
yeah,
neighborhood friendly Spider-Man, like,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, yeah, I've got these powers. I have to use them for
right,
to help people.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I don't know the comics well enough, but I'm sure they've tried it, but they've never made Spider-Man bad.
I mean, if well, for a little while
They
with
had
the
the Venom
whole
suit thing, right?
yeah, but again, he realized how big a jerk he was being and fought it.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. I mean,
Like if Batman broke bad, you'd be like, yeah,
cool.
that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah,
If
yeah,
Spider-Man breaks bad, you're like, no,
yeah,
we can't have this.
yeah,
We, we I think the comic book world and the fans would like lose their shit if you made
yeah,
Spider-Man bad.
yeah, yeah. I mean, he's just a genuine. He's a kid.
You know, I really liked the Into the Spider-Verse,
Yeah,
and one of the things I really liked about Into the Spider-Verse was I liked Peter Parker as an adult.
yeah, yeah.
I liked that concept of what that led to, and that,
Right. Yeah,
that Peter Parker had some issues, but he was still Peter Parker underneath
yeah,
all of that, which I thought
yeah,
was pretty cool.
yeah, yeah.
Like he still generally cared, even though the world had shit on him a lot.
Right. Yeah,
Which, yeah, Spider-Man is
yeah.
definitely the
Going
best.
out web slinging in his bathrobe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like the run of comics right now. Spider Man. I just did start reading. It's uh, bonkers, cuckoo comic stuff, but there's some threat, and Doctor Strange can't step up for it this time, so they pick or Strange picks Peter as Earth's champion because of his do good and everything. So he gets like some of the strange powers or whatever. But and one of the things is he gets I can't remember what they call it. But anyway, it will bring him back to life if he dies because they know. And Strange tells him like you're going to die with all 8 of these fights. So at least this way you'll be brought back. And Pete's like, okay,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
just okay, I'll do it. I'll step up. And like one of them was like psychological torture, and they've done this before, but the person was like, yeah, if you hold this sphere, it will run you through the worst possible scenarios of everybody in your life and like losing them and everything like that. And Pete got done, and the two people were talking, and it was, oh, well, how long did he last? And she said, most people last maybe 100. Strange, the last time lasted a couple hundred. Okay. Yeah. She's like, Parker lasted like thousands of times, and he was still holding on to the ball when I stopped because he just kept feeling that sadness, so other people didn't have to. It's like Pete is,
Do you think
he's
we
the best of
identify?
us.
Do you think we identify with Peter Parker because ultimately we became firefighters because we wanted to be heroes?
Yeah.
Do you like Pete, that the kind of person that we are is exemplified more in Peter Parker? Like,
Oh
or we
yeah.
want to be. I would say we are. We want to be.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
because everybody who became a firefighter, you didn't become a firefighter because you're like, oh, I like getting up 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. I'm
Like
gonna
you,
make millions of dollars, and
right?
yeah.
Everybody thought I'm going to be a hero. I'm going to do heroic things.
Yeah.
And to us,
And
Peter Parker
it,
is that.
yeah. Yeah. And it's I know a lot of us, it's I've seen how shitty things can be, and I don't want somebody else to have to go through that. So, yeah, let me, take care of you at 2 o'clock in the morning. Let me, try to save part of your house.
I've always felt that's kind of my role in life is I see things so that other people don't have to, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. And
Oh
that
yeah. Yep.
feels
Yeah.
very much our thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
So
I
maybe that's
know
why
I
we love,
can struggle through it, so I'll do it so somebody else doesn't have to.
right. And maybe that's why we particularly love Spider-Man.
Yeah. Yeah.
He represents, to me, he's always represented that stuff.
Yeah. 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 Just
It's also
just
why
be.
they don't make a bad Spider-Man movie.
I don't know. Spider-Man 3 was pretty bad.
Yeah, but Spider-Man 1 and 2 were
Oh
great
yeah. Yeah.
because it was just Spider-Man. Like they weren't messing with
Right.
the Spider-Man side of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Spider-Man 3 is bad because they messed with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
easy to make a
Spider-Man's just yeah. He's the lovable dork that. Yeah.
right because you can make a bad Batman movie because fundamentally Batman has darkness.
Oh yeah.
And if you lean into the darkness, it's kind of a bad movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a whole, the Batman Superman conversation, deep down Superman's a good guy and deep down Batman's not a good guy. Whereas deep down Spider-Man is a really good guy. Regardless. Spider-Man's just Peter's, taking care of Aunt May and, still going to school and doing everything he can.
Right. There's a conversation that Peter Parker doesn't get bit by the spider and he still does heroic things.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean yeah. I would think Pete would still, try to do something. Like I'm sure he would end up working at, Oscorp or something and, developing things, doing that's the thing, all the things he like works on and tinkers and it's it's so he can better help people. It's not so he can better himself ever.
Yeah. And, you know, he becomes a volunteer fireman because he doesn't become Spider-Man. Like there's that I think
Yeah.
that's a fundamental part of Peter Parker is he's helping people whether he
Yeah.
has the power or it's great power comes great responsibility, but also little power still brings responsibility.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
So in the Earth 828, yeah, Pete's probably a volunteer firefighter or a paramedic or
right.
something.
Yeah. He's doing something to help people
Yeah.
no matter what. It's just
Yeah.
part of his dynamic.
Yeah. So he would be probably the most altruistic hero.
Yeah, I don't think there's even in the Marvel side. I don't think anybody's even close.
Yeah.
Right? Like Strange only does it for his own personal gain.
Yeah.
Right? He only becomes a hero because he has to.
Yeah, I think.
Right? Reed
Hmm.
Richards never really becomes
Hmm.
a hero. There's
Yeah.
a really interesting argument about Reed Richards is he has no altruism. He has no
No.
humanity. Right?
No.
It's just he can do
He's
things that
he's
he's driven
just science. It's
right.
just the
He's driven to
science.
do the science.
Hmm.
Then you get to the X-Men and boy, that doesn't
No.
you don't
There's
even have
no altruism there.
right.
Yeah.
You
And I
know,
mean, Captain America, but he's kind
he's
of blinded by his ideals.
right. He's a little closer than probably,
Yeah.
but you know, the thing about Captain America is he's a stereotype of himself.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think you can say that about Peter Parker.
No.
And then you know, Hulk, don't even get me started.
Yeah, no.
All of them you feel like, oh, they had this thrust upon them.
Right.
Peter, you feel like, even if it's not thrust upon him, he's still doing it.
Yeah.
You know, that I think that's kind of why he resonates with a lot of people. Is he's the
Yeah.
everyday hero.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's, you know, lighthearted when he is going through stuff and, you know, He's also not just a, punch harder, punch faster. It's, yeah. He thinks about things.
Yeah, and I mean, got the coolest rogues gallery of all the enemies.
Yeah. Yep. And MJ.
And MJ.
Yeah.
And the other one, Gwen.
Black Cat. Yeah, Gwen. Oof.
Yeah. We don't,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, going back to even my comic collecting days, Spider-Man was always on the list of comics to
Oh,
collect.
yeah. Yep. Yeah.
And every iteration of Spider-Man is still Spider-Man.
Yeah. Yep.
It's kind of interesting. I never really thought about it like that, but it's...
Yeah.
Because, like, everybody else they mess with.
Yeah.
And maybe that's a Marvel, like there's like some secret document of you don't mess with Spider-Man.
Yeah. Well, Stan Lee will come out of the grave and kill you.
Right.
Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah. Oh, this Spider-Man, we're gonna have him. It's gonna start out, and he's gonna be the one to kill Uncle Ben.
Right.
Stan Lee just raises up.
Yeah.
Oh, the Lee claws here. You can't do that.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting to think about it that way. Like, you don't ever think about what ultimately makes a superhero, like the ones you love, Like, you love Batman because he's cool. And when we were kids, like, we were born in the perfect time for Batman.
Oh, yeah.
Right. We had the movies, the Michael Keaton movies, which I don't care what you say, they're badass. Right. And then we had the animated show.
Yeah.
We were the perfect time frame for the Batman.
Yeah.
But if you ultimately broke it down, you'd be like, he's not really a good guy.
Oh, no.
He's not. His ideals are not my ideals in any situation. I'm never gonna be Batman, I hope, because I feel like it's the same thing with the Punisher. I liked the Punisher comic books, but I'm never gonna be the Punisher.
No,
right?
No, that's a sad existence.
Right. I think ultimately you can't identify with Superman because he's basically a god.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, like, he's not a man. He's not a man.
Right. There's no altruism in Superman because he's impervious and invincible, and he's basically a god. Right.
Yeah.
There's no risk for him to do these things. It's nice that he does these things, and if he ever did not do those things, it would be bad. But ultimately, there's no risk for him.
Yeah. Whereas somebody like Pete, he could die anytime.
Right. Yeah. Ultimately, his quote-unquote powers aren't that impressive. And they always are. It's kind of funny because, when I think of Spider-Man, I always think the most important Spider-Man power is spider sense.
Yeah.
I don't think real spiders have, but
no.
But he's got spider sense, and then in the movies he still gets hit a lot.
Yeah.
It's like, well, the whole point is he can tell that this is dangerous.
Yeah.
But he does it anyways.
Yeah. Was it they made fun of it in the most recent Marvel movie about it? Like, oh, you're Peter Tingle.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
But
I'm with you on that. Spider-Man is.
Yeah.
And I'm sure somebody, gonna be like, oh, well, this character, and I'm like, I just don't know the characters enough.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Yeah, and if there is somebody better, please let us know.
Yeah,
let us know in the Discord or on Twitter at CUltra22.
Well, I want you to just get a billboard.
Okay.
Let us know on a billboard.
That's true. Yeah, that's a much better way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've reached the conclusion of this pod.
Yeah.
When we come back, I don't even know when this one goes up because I think we're doing this.
This one goes up on the 19th. We'll be back on the June 2nd.
Oh. Well, we might have to record a second one then.
Or I also found a flash drive of like the first 20 episodes from the first season.
I come back on the 31st and I work on the 1st.
Okay.
because I'm an idiot.
Nah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. But either way, be safe out there, folks.
Yeah. Stay in the damn crosswalks and the sidewalks.
Crosswalks, and be more like your neighborhood Spider-Man every day.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Take care,
it's
folks.
your neighborhood.
Yes.